Ever wondered why women sometimes unknowingly become their own worst critics? Picture this: a world where the societal norms and expectations are so deeply entrenched, they not only shape the way we perceive ourselves, but also how we view and judge other women. This, my friends, is the complex concept of internalized misogyny. Now you might be thinking, what exactly is internalized misogyny? Well, it's a phenomenon where women subconsciously absorb and internalize the sexist messages that pervade our society. It's like a silent whisper, echoing in the back of our minds, telling us we are not enough, we are too much, or we are inherently flawed. This internalized misogyny manifests in various ways, all of which are harmful to a woman's sense of self. One of the most common manifestations is self-doubt, that nagging feeling of not being good enough, smart enough, or simply enough. It's as though we are constantly competing in a race where the finish line keeps moving further away. Then there's body shaming, another insidious manifestation of internalized misogyny. Society's impossible beauty standards seep into our consciousness, causing us to scrutinize and criticize our own bodies, often leading to unhealthy behavior and a negative body image. Lastly, and perhaps most damaging, is the judgment towards other women. Instead of fostering a sense of sisterhood and support, internalized misogyny turns us into critics of our fellow women. We judge their choices, their bodies, their lives, often without even realizing it. This not only damages our relationships with other women, but also reinforces the sexist societal norms that we, ourselves, are trying to fight against. So internalized misogyny is not just an idea. It's a real struggle that many women face every day. It's a silent enemy, lurking in the shadows of our subconscious, influencing our thoughts, our actions, and our relationships. But by acknowledging its existence and understanding its impact, we can begin to challenge it, to unmask it, and ultimately, to overcome it. When women are conditioned to view each other as competition, what happens to sisterhood? This is a question that sends us deep into the labyrinth of internalized misogyny, where the true power of sisterhood often lies buried beneath layers of distrust and rivalry. Internalized misogyny, a term that may sound foreign to some, is a phenomenon that's as old as time. It's the unconscious adoption of the sexist messages that permeate our culture, turning us into participants in our own oppression. This internalization can lead to a deep-seated rivalry among women, a competition that is often fostered by societal norms and expectations. This rivalry, this distrust, can fracture the sisterhood, creating chasms where bridges should be. Imagine a world where every woman sees another woman as a potential threat, a competitor for resources, for opportunities, or for affection. This is the world that internalized misogyny creates, a world that is hostile to the very idea of sisterhood. It's a world where unity is replaced by division, where cooperation is replaced by competition, and where empathy is replaced by apathy. But let's not forget that sisterhood is a powerful force. It's a bond that can transcend the barriers of race, class, and culture. It's a bond that can provide strength in times of adversity, comfort in times of distress, and inspiration in times of despair. This power, however, can only be harnessed when we let go of the rivalries and the distrust that internalized misogyny fosters. Just as a single thread can be easily broken, a woman standing alone can be vulnerable. But when threads come together to form a rope, their strength multiplies. In the same way, when women come together in sisterhood, they become a force to be reckoned with. They can challenge norms, break barriers, and create change. Sisterhood can be a powerful force, but only if we allow it to be. So, let's challenge the internalized misogyny that sows seeds of discord among us. Let's build bridges instead of walls, create bonds instead of rifts. Let's reclaim the power of sisterhood, and in doing so, reclaim our power as women. Ever heard the tale of Medusa? Not the monster, but the victim and the survivor. Medusa, a name that brings forth images of a gorgon with hissing serpents for hair, eyes that turn men to stone. But let's draw back the curtains of mythology and peer into the heart of her tale. Medusa was not born a monster, but a beautiful maiden. Her beauty, however, became a curse when she caught the eye of the sea god Poseidon. He pursued her, and in a sacred temple of Athena, he assaulted her. Athena, instead of sheltering the victim, cursed Medusa, transforming her into a gorgon. Now, this is where the story takes a dark turn, a testament to internalized misogyny. But Medusa's tale doesn't end here. It's not one of defeat, but of resilience and empowerment. Stripped of her beauty and isolated from the world, Medusa found strength in her solitude. Her curse became her shield, protecting her from the prying eyes and unwanted advances of men. The same eyes that once admired her beauty now turned to stone at her gaze. Her serpents, symbols of transformation and rebirth, became her companions, her protectors. She turned her curse into her power, her isolation into her sanctuary. She became a symbol of resilience in the face of adversity, of empowerment in the face of victimization. Medusa's story is a poignant reminder that we are not defined by the trials we face, but by how we rise above them. It's a call to all women to reclaim their narratives, to transform their curses into their strengths. So when we speak of Medusa, let's not forget her strength, her resilience. Let's remember her not as a monster, but as a woman who stood tall in the face of adversity, who turned her curse into her power, who refused to be a victim. Medusa's story is not one of defeat, but of triumph over adversity. How can we break the cycle of internalized misogyny and foster a supportive community for women? This question is the cornerstone of our discussion, and it's a journey we'll navigate together. Breaking the cycle starts with self-awareness. It's essential to recognize and understand the subconscious biases we've absorbed from society. These biases can be as subtle as questioning a woman's ability to lead or as blatant as victim blaming. Once we're aware of these biases, we can challenge them, question their validity, and replace them with healthier, more empowering beliefs. Next, positive affirmations are a powerful tool. They can help rewire our brains, replacing negative thoughts about ourselves and other women with positive ones. For instance, affirming that all women are deserving of respect and dignity can help counteract the harmful narrative that women are lesser or inferior. Building supportive communities is another significant step. These communities can provide a platform for women to share their experiences, learn from each other, and collectively challenge the societal norms that perpetuate misogyny. These spaces can be physical or virtual, formal or informal. The key is to create an environment where women feel safe to express themselves without fear of judgment or criticism. It's also essential for women to stand together, to support each other in the face of societal pressures. This unity can be as simple as standing up for a colleague who's being unfairly treated, or as profound as joining a movement that fights for women's rights. When we support each other, we send a powerful message that we won't tolerate misogyny in any form. Lastly, education plays a crucial role. By learning about the history of women's struggles and achievements, we can better understand the context of our current experiences. And with this understanding, we can shape a more equitable future. Breaking the cycle is possible, and it starts with each one of us. Remember, every step, no matter how small, is progress. As we continue to challenge internalized misogyny and support each other, we're not just improving our own lives, but also paving the way for future generations of women. Together, we can create a world where every woman is respected, valued, and empowered. What does the triumph over adversity look like for modern women? Let's delve into the empowering narratives of women who have risen from the ashes of adversity to stand tall and strong. Consider Malala Yousafzai, a young girl from Pakistan who dared to demand education for girls in a society that frowned upon it. Despite an assassination attempt that nearly took her life, she emerged stronger, becoming the youngest recipient of the Nobel Peace Prize. Her story is a testament to the indomitable spirit of women and the power of education. Then, there's Tarana Burke, a civil rights activist who turned her personal experience of sexual assault into a global movement. She coined the phrase "Me Too," giving voice to countless survivors of sexual assault, and creating a community that stands united against sexual violence. And let's not forget about Laverne Cox, a trailblazer in the transgender community. Growing up, she faced discrimination and prejudice, but she didn't let that deter her. Today, she's an Emmy-nominated actress and a staunch advocate for transgender rights. She's a shining example of how embracing one's true identity can lead to empowerment. These stories are but a glimpse into the vast tapestry of women's resilience. They serve as a reminder that no matter the adversity, there is always room for triumph. They inspire others to challenge societal norms, to speak up, and to embrace their strength. But it's not just about individual triumphs. It's about creating supportive communities for women. It's about fostering sisterhood, unity, and understanding. By sharing these narratives, we hope to inspire everyone to play their part in breaking the cycle of internalized misogyny, to create a world where every woman is free to be herself, to voice her opinions, to strive for her dreams, and to rise above adversity. Each woman's triumph over adversity is a beacon of hope for others, illuminating the path towards empowerment and unity. Let's continue to share these empowering narratives and inspire each other. After all, every story of triumph adds a new strand to the tapestry of women's resilience.